Hey, welcome back to Paulo Freire and the Promise of Critical Pedagogy by Henry Giroux. This is part 3, Freire's Directions for a Critical Classroom. This should help you make your classroom more of a critical pedagogical space. Quote, Freire was acutely aware that what makes critical pedagogy so dangerous to ideological fundamentalists, the ruling elites, religious extremists, and right-wing nationalists all over the world is that central to its very definition is the task of educating students to become critical agents actively question and negotiate the relationships between theory and practice, critical analysis, common sense, and learning and social change. You might want to pause this here and review the quote. I have a sort of a leading question. Should we educate students to become critical agents? If so, how? You might want to think about that on your own. I'd say that I think we should be doing this because, again, from some of our previous discussion, it helps us look into the past and helps us guide our future to become a better, more liberated place where people can be liberated from across the economic, racial, and other spectrum. If so, how? Again, fostering critical thought about all of the institutions and things around us. That would help. Committed to the specific play of context and the possibility inherent in what he called the infinite nature of human beings. Freire offered no recipes for those in need of instant theoretical and political fixes. You might want to think about that. I would say to you, hey, sorry folks, there is no recipes or easy answers for critical pedagogy. I would look at the specifics of your situation, the context that you're in, as well as your shared humanity with your students and your community. For Freire, pedagogy was strategic and performative, considered as part of a broader political practice for democratic change. Critical pedagogy was never viewed as an a-priori discourse to be reasserted or a methodology to be implemented, or for that matter, a slavish attachment to knowledge that can only be quantified. Okay, you might want to pause to consider this. I would say to you, you have to figure out critical pedagogy in each and every single class. Try to strategize how you will be critical. How will that be? Will it be just questions? Will it be exercises that you do the class, activities? Will it be the source material you'll be looking at? And be performative. Don't have it just being inert. Have you do something with it. Have your students try to do something with it, both within and beyond your classroom. Quote, on the contrary, for pedagogy was a political and performative act, organized around the instructive ambivalence of disrupted borders, a practice of bafflement, interruption, understanding, and intervention that is the result of ongoing historical, social, and economic struggles. I want to pause to see what you think of this quote. From this, I suggest try to understand who you're working with and learning with, and once you do, interrupt and intervene and foster more critical engagement. Why are they thinking that? How do they get to that point? What are the implications? And try to understand the context of your struggle. What are the historical, social, and economic factors that go into your situation? So this is Freire, Giroux talking about his relationship with Freire. I was often amazed at how patient he always was in dealing with people who wanted him to provide menu-like answers to the problems they raised about education, not realizing that they were undermining his own insistence that pedagogy can never be reduced to a method. His patient was always instructive to me. I want to pause and think about that. From this, if I'm suggesting you go and have a critical classroom, try to be patient. Being critical, engaging in critical pedagogy, having students get on board is a long-form thing, especially with younger students. Also, resist easy and fixed pedagogical methods and answers. There is no one-size-fits-all answer for all of this. My final thoughts on Giroux and his thoughts on Freire's critical pedagogy. Try to be critical inside and outside the classroom, both for yourself and your students. 2, support student inquiry. Have them come up with their own questions to question you and question the material, question each other and the society institutions around them. 3, foster reflection. Give space for reflection. Let people reflect on the material they get. We often, unfortunately, are think about just the actual hard facts, and we don't think about the implications and the reflections that we do help that. 4, be patient. K-12 education is a rigorous, time-consuming place. We often rush to get to the next subject matter. Try to be patient, give people the space to do that so that can be reflective. Resist easy and fixed pedagogical answers. The way that you create critical pedagogy in your class, it will be different than the person right beside you in your next classroom. Finally, evolve your pedagogy. There is not a fixed method even for yourself. If you have something that works, it might not work the next time. Try to be responsive to the times that you're living in, the students you're with, and the issues that are revolving around them. That was Paulo Freire and the Promise of Critical Pedagogy by Henry Giroux. That was part 3, Freire's Directions for a Critical Classroom. Thanks for watching. Take care. Hope to see you again soon.